My name is Ishai Green, and I'm the CTO of a company called Spotam. I'm a former founder of two other companies. Onigma, it's been acquired in 2007. We managed to sell it in 2007 for McAfee. We created their product that is known today as a field that is called data loss prevention. It's systems against information theft. I was the software architect of Onigma. Basically, my profession is I'm a software architect. So when I think of what I do and what I do good, is a software architect. So this is the angle that I enter the entrepreneurship world. Okay, I'm an entrepreneur, but most important, I'm a software architect. I understand technology and know how to build stuff. So this is what I did in Onigma. After Onigma, I founded Soluto with Tomer Dvir. And we managed to sell Soluto for a better price than Onigma for $100 million. The first one, Onigma, we managed to sell it to McAfee for $20 million, and Soluto has been acquired by a huge company, unknown huge company under the name of Ashurion. It's a company that, as I heard, they're making profit like $1 billion a month, and they have 300 million customers. They are fixing many cellular phones in the world. They started it as a garage or something, and they spinned off until they became like one of the biggest companies in the world at fixing cellular phones. So this was the story of Soluto, and after Soluto, I was looking for my next startup. I thought that I thought after Soluto that I can build like 5 startups. And then I realized that building 5 startups means that you're an investor. You're not really, you're not an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur can do one thing. And I got to build Spotam. And it's been 2 years. We launched our first product, our beta, a year ago and shut it down after 90 hours, something like this. We had the 70,000 invitation. It was very viral. But we realized that it's not going to work. And since then, there have been something like 10 startups building the same thing, launching and failing, after we failed for 90 hours and decided that we're going to shut it down. But the basic idea of Spotam was to create a social network that allows people that don't know each other communicate. Okay? And you have Facebook, you have WhatsApp, you have all these social networks to communicate with people you know. You have LinkedIn to communicate with people professionally. You have all these dating sites to get dates, but you don't have a social network to communicate with people that like to to build stuff. You don't have a real social network that handles this. And this is our business. Yes, huh? Yeah? Yeah.
Are you familiar with Reddit? I feel like
Reddit, yes. Reddit is a landing. Yeah, Reddit is an amazing example. 450,000 million visitors a month. Almost half a billion.
How many separate? Because people spend a lot of time in and out.
Yeah, but yes. So Reddit is a great example of something that we're going to kill when we succeed. If we succeed, yeah. No, many people are trying to do this. So our idea of Spotam, and I didn't come to talk about Spotam. Anyway, so we launched our second product, which is Spot 1.0, and it's very successful, but in a niche. It's not good for us, okay? We're interested in building something big that's going to create actually a big social network like Facebook, something that can hold 1 billion people. So what we build in Spot 1.0 is something that works very well in specific niche websites that it's a plugin. Okay, so what we're building in Spotam is a distributed social network. It means that you have like 20% of the internet is Google, Facebook, and all these amazing startups, like companies, and 80% of the internet is content, like it's websites. So we are building a system that's going to help all these 80% to collaborate in building a huge social network and reshape internet traffic into making each website a small social network, of a community social network. So the first Spotam, like 1.0, it's available. Everyone can use it and install it on their websites. Millions of people see it every day. And We have a lot of registered users and returning users love this, but it's a chat system, and a chat system can get you to some portion of the way. It cannot create a social network. So this is Spot 2.0, and this is what we are building right now, and this system supposed to, I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's a secret, but we had to move all these steps. Now, how it's connected to Tel Aviv as an opportunity. So I'm talking about opportunities in Tel Aviv. Why we have opportunities in Tel Aviv? We have opportunities in San Francisco. Everyone knows. In New York City, everyone knows. So what makes it special? The first thing is, everything that you said this word like many times, I'm sure, and I heard you even saying it, like ecosystem, like the word that everyone likes to say. So in Tel Aviv, we have amazing ecosystem, okay? And in some areas in Tel Aviv, and many things actually happen in Tel Aviv that no one ever really, knows about them. Because in a radius of 5 kilometers around my office, I stationed near the Bet HaKnesset HaGadol, like in Allenby Street, which is very close to Rothschild. In radius of 5 kilometers, we have companies that you never heard of that making between $10,000 to $250,000 a day. Okay? The companies you never heard of. My friends, people that I know, people that I consult with. They do it from various ways, okay? Some of them are, like touching the law even, okay? On the border of what is legal, but they're doing legal stuff from Israel. And some of them are doing amazing and very useful stuff for the world. But what's happening around this area of Rothschild is amazing, and it's unknown. It's private held companies. None of them is IPO'd, and they are, as we like to say it in Hebrew, they are printing money, and the knowledge is here. And they are sharing the knowledge. So let's say, like 2 weeks ago, we sat with a guy from Pirion. He's responsible, his name is Omer. And he's responsible on taking Pirion from her old business model to their new business model, which is making money out of applications, cellular applications, all these small games. You have like this bar and you have this commercial. So huge portion of the market belongs to Pirion. Like commercial, like they are very, very strong in pushing application downloads inside mobile world through other applications. And this business generates, I think they're a public company, Pirion. Public, yes? So they're making a lot of money, okay? And then this guy is sitting with us for 2.5 hours and explaining us all the metrics, how do you measure, how do you make money. He listens to our ideas of how to make the business model, and he criticizes this, he gives us ideas, and they are very, very accessible. They're not going to waste their time on any entrepreneur, okay? And he's not wasting the time because I addressed him. He didn't even know, I don't know him, and he didn't know that I'm involved in Spotam. My CEO is 23 years old, he's very aggressive, and he knows people, and he got the meeting with him. So if you have something to say, anyone is going to listen to you, and especially in Israel, you can get to anyone. And I can get numerous examples. Okay, we are consulting with people from Wix. You have here Wix, like one of the people who fund this event. So the CEO of Wix, Avishai, the CTO, every one of them, they invested in my company, and also they are consulting us. If we have a problem, we make a phone call, we can meet them, and I know that they're doing it for other startups, and they're doing it for free. For many of the startups, doing it for free, and they're not asking for anything. It was a Freudian slip. And this is the ecosystem. Now, imagine that you're going to go move to San Francisco. You don't know anyone there, okay? You don't speak the language. We speak English, okay? But you don't speak the language, the cultural language. And this is opportunity that you have here, and you don't have it in San Francisco, okay? There are ways to get, okay, so in opposite to that, let's take a company which is founded by Israeli that I know. His name is Adam Neumann. You know who's Adam Neumann? He's the CEO of a company. WeWork, amazing. Okay, you know it. So Adam, he founded WeWork. The last round was a valuation of $5 billion. His COO is Roy Adler. Roy Adler was our VP marketing in Soluto. So why is it opportunities in Tel Aviv? The opportunity is in Manhattan. They are building like a building every 30 days. They have like a new building. Like this is the statistics that WeWork has. And it happens in New York City, and his co-founder, as I heard, is an architect. So for this type of business, he couldn't do it from Israel, okay? He just couldn't. So when I say opportunities in Tel Aviv, you need to see what kind of opportunities. Not every opportunity you have here. But building yourself in Tel Aviv and then moving to New York and making it, let's say like Roy Adler building himself inside Tel Aviv, in companies around Tel Aviv and in Israel, and then moving to New York and being able to get to such a high position in a company that already was worth $1 billion is something that you get when you work in your hometown, okay? Another example of this, and I'm going to move to the next point, all these billionaires in Israel, like the old billionaires, like Tshuva and all these people, they're saying, if you're going to get a lot of taxes, we're going to leave Israel. We're not going to do business here. So I say, fuck you. Why do I say fuck you? Because I like to say fuck you. And besides of that, because they wouldn't make money if they wouldn't live in Israel, okay? If you take Tshuva, take all his money and throw him in Denmark, he's going to be poor and he's going to starve in the street, I guess. Or maybe he's going to make business, I don't know. But he's not going to become a billionaire. The reason you can become a billionaire, because you have the ability to use stuff that you have in the ecosystem that you already know, okay? And some other people are very talented, and wherever you throw them, they're going to become billionaires. But this is like another point of, you were born here in the Middle East, you could have been born in Gaza or something and you're fucked, but you in the right side of the border, so the opportunities are here. Finished. Pressure. And one of the things that makes you succeed is pressure and competition, okay? Why I made these two exits. The first exit I said, okay, I need money because I was a poor child, so I made $1.5 million. Then I wasted all this money on apartment and stuff, and then I needed to do the second exit, which happened, and already I'm spending the money. You cannot blackmail me because it's like almost... But I'm wasting the money, and now I have another pressure to make the money. And the second thing is like the question, should I stop and just, I don't know, smoke weed all day and, I don't know, go to the sea and stuff like this? The problem is I couldn't go to the sea and take my time because I know the motherfuckers in Rothschild are making $10,000 to $250,000 a day, okay? So the pressure is that people are very, very successful in Israel, and we don't even see. It's a tip of the iceberg what you see right now, because I see my company's friends. I invested in some of my friends' companies. There are so many rising companies that you never heard of, and it creates, for me at least, okay, a lot of pressure to succeed, and I always feel like a failure, okay? And this is like for my psychology, for my psychoanalytic session, but it's not for here. So this is the pressure. And making money, yeah. Another point, there is endless type of companies. So there are companies that are making advertisements in the internet and making money from advertisement. You know, such crazy ideas. There is like a company, they're not very technological, but they got to the conclusion that there are so many like cable companies in the world and like that have like original video content that is not on the web. So what they do, they go to these people and say, we're going to put it on the web, we're going to give you some money, we're going to share revenues, and they're building websites. I don't remember the name of the company. Don't remember them. Anyway, they're building websites, uploading all the content, and bringing the traffic, and it could be like a station from Kazakhstan. They don't care where. And it's very, very, in Hebrew we say avodat ma'ader. How do you translate it? Like, working in the garden. Like, avodat ma'ader, No? Don't know the term? It's trivial. No, I'm kidding. So, they are moving from one to other, and each one they collect, they make more money. So, this is another, okay, so the point is like the type of companies. So, some of them are making commercials, some of them are making downloads. You have such an amazing variety. But if you want to build like electric car, or you want to build like a real estate company that is scaled to infinity like WeWork, maybe Tel Aviv is not the right place. So you need to see that the ecosystem match what you want to do. Usability tools, social networks. Okay, you have all these things. Now, it's from the same angle, again, psychologically, such like a psychological angle, why to do it in Tel Aviv is sometimes you fight, when you build a startup, you are competing with monopolies many times because most of the market, as it builds today, it's built from monopolies. If it's Facebook, if it's whatever, even if it's another startup that you're competing, if it's a real need, it's very, very fast becomes a monopoly in a specific field. Now, in order to beat a monopoly, and there are many talks about this, I really recommend you to watch Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel? How do you say his last name? Yeah. Peter Thiel. Talking about competition is for losers. It's very hard to watch. Anyway, the point is that having the boldness to build such a thing, you need the people that you consult with, you need to, you need to have like giants around you to say, okay, I can do it too. Okay? And this is why in Italy, I visited Italy, the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Italy and in Korea, they cannot do it there because they're alone. You need to sit like you're in a situation when you say, I'm going to succeed, I'm going to do it, but no one does it around you, okay? So you need to be so special, like our first entrepreneurs, like our first, like when I'm talking about Cytex and like the old companies, the old startups in Israel, they need to do it out of the desert. You're not working in a desert, and you see companies that are fighting giants in Israel and winning, or some of them also crashing. But you see them trying, and this is another point. About the government and culture, I know that it's, and rent and all this stuff. So, the government doesn't bother you, so it's enough, okay? They don't bother you, they don't hurt you, and sometimes they help you, okay? When you go abroad, if you have a startup, you can call the embassy, and they're going to introduce you to anyone you want. I can tell you, we do this many times. Israeli embassy is very, very cooperative with startups, okay? So if you need connections in Korea, if you need connections in London, whatever, wherever you need connections, the Israeli government and the embassies itself and the foreign department of, I don't know, whatever, what's called, they know how to make these connections, okay? So you can use it. And also, if you're building a startup in Tel Aviv, you get 50% discount on taxes and stuff like this. And it's pretty cheap. And I'm going to give you an example about my startup. Okay, so I have really beautiful offices. We didn't invest even $1. And now we're building a bigger office next to the corridor. And everything that they build there, and they build like an office from scratch. They broke everything, and everything is on the expense of the building owner. And he's interested in this because he knows that when we're going to move, the office is going to be perfect and going to be usable by another startup. He knows the demand. So he says, okay, no problem. So he's listening to our requirements, and we are the designers of for him, the perfect high-tech office. So we are leaving our small office, and already there is, like, he raised the amount of money that he requests for the office by 40% after we enter the office, after we help him to decide how the office is going to build and divided. And I see my friends' startups, some of them have better and like nicer and, I don't know, worse offices, but it's very, very decent. Another thing about the culture and the ecosystem, the food in Tel Aviv is very, very good, and it's it's very important. I'm going to leave. Okay, another point is this. Opportunities in New York and San Francisco. My CEO and co-founder is now in New York, and I talked to him like an hour ago, and he told me that in New York, when you're trying to do business from Israel, so you have a Skype and it disconnects, and even you have fiber optics to the office. Like, it's not like, you're not meeting people. And when you are there, you just have a meeting after meeting, and they say, okay, so come in 3 hours, come on Monday, and we're going to continue. And it's clearly an amazing place to run the business if you are like in the business of publishers, like what we do in Spotam, or if you are very techy in a business, techie business, so you should go to San Francisco. The point is that it's second phase. You don't need to do it right away. Okay? If you would do it right away, you cannot find engineers in San Francisco. They would go to Y Combinator startups. They would go to startups that are based there. So in that sense, like building the team and knowing how to interview the people, understand the first phase could happen from Israel. And the point is the opportunities are not in Tel Aviv nor in San Francisco. The opportunities are in the internet itself. And this is the last point that I want to talk about. I'm going to divide it by two. The internet is available for everyone. The idea is available for everyone. And every time that we look, and I always say it every time I talk about to entrepreneurs or to myself about opportunities, like I remember that I talked to audience like 8 years ago and I said the same sentence that I'm going to say right now. There are such an amazing opportunities to change the world, to create amazing stuff. And it always looks like that like 5 years ago it was easier. Now, in 5 years from now, it's going to look like today. It was fucking crazy. How didn't I think of building that? So, and this is how it goes. It's never-ending story of closing this round. Besides the fact of these monopolies, yes, like that I'm not sure how they're going to disappear, like Google and Facebook and other companies that just closed a whole area of opportunities. I really believe in this, that Google is an endgame, yeah? Google is terrible. Yeah, the only option is that someone to take it like to, I don't know, 5 steps ahead in some way. I don't know how. But there is DuckDuckGo. You've seen it?
I love DuckDuckGo, but
DuckDuckGo. No, go.
All your research is devoted towards maximizing revenue from advertising. You're not.
This is Google?
That's what Google is?
No,
Yes,
they're not.
It is in every way. Everything is about collecting information.
Yeah, collecting information and making money, yeah.
Marketing revenue.
Of course, everything is about money because, we live in
No,
Earth.
but there's different ways to make money. You don't have to make money from marketing.
No, there is no. The only way to make money is make someone take his credit card and spend money, okay? This is the way. Now, when do you take your credit card out and spend money? When you buy something. How do you buy something? Someone advertises to you, okay? Why Google is such a perfect money generator? Because when you search, you actually search a commercial. Like, what is the best commercial for cars? Okay, this is what you're actually writing there. Anyway, so DuckDuckGo. Okay, I've seen DuckDuckGo and it was amazing. Okay, I said, fuck. Like, people made better Google. And I had like a test. I have like a test, like 5 searches that I make to test a new search engine, because every few months there is a new search engine. And all of them failed in these 5 tests. So I did these 5 tests and they passed. And they were even better than Google. I said, that's it. They just need to change the domain to a better domain. And they might win Google. But then, you know what I looked for? I looked for Bar Rafaeli naked. Okay? And then I looked in Google and I looked in DuckDuckGo. And in Google, I got one result, and in DuckDuckGo, a different result, and Google worked. Okay? Now, do the search yourself and understand why DuckDuckGo don't really understand what people actually search for. Okay? They don't really, really understand. Anyway, just a point. One last point. The best opportunity that you have today in the software industry, from my point of view, and this is what I think that the real opportunity in Tel Aviv itself, outside there have like other hardware companies and stuff like this, is what is called vertical integration. Okay, so I'm trying to compete with what I call monopolies, like Facebook, like the Facebook page, which is like the equivalent of community, or Reddit, companies that work for 7 years, 10 years. Okay, they're already worth, some of them billions, some of them hundreds of millions, and I need to compete with them. I have limited money and employees, and how do I do this? So the vertical integration, this is the best opportunity that any citizen of the world have, and you have it also in Tel Aviv. The point is this, if I want to build WhatsApp today, okay, I can sit and you can read like the years that they invested in creating this messaging system to send all the messages and route the messages, or I can use a service that is called Pusher, or their competition, PubNub. What do? They do publisher-subscriber and sending messages to all platforms, mobile and web. So you don't need to build this. You just buy this. And for $200, you get 2,000 concurrent users. And for $800, you get 50,000 concurrent connections. And if you want 1 million people connecting at the same time, so if you have 1 million people, you need to have 100 million users. So it's going to cost you $10,000 a month or something, okay? $10,000 a month. Engineer, like a very good engineers, cost you $120,000 a year. So in building such a thing, you need at least there are 10 engineers working on this 3 years. Now, the point is this, these electricity companies, as I see it, and this is my hat as a software architect. Once, like years ago, you had 2 options. You build like a factory that, I don't know, manufacture aluminum or something, okay? So you had to build power station, and you had to have employees, and people died there, and it exploded on them, and you have like coal and all like burn stuff and pollute environment. Then come an electricity company and said, you don't need to manage this. Take this cable, put it inside, and that's it. You have the electricity to create your aluminum, and you can be specialist in creating aluminum. So Spotam, for instance, it's built over 20 different services, okay? And we have all the capabilities that Facebook and Google has. We have the scale to infinity, and the prices are nothing, okay? You don't need to build this. And now, who built Pusher? People that worked in one of these companies, they became billion-dollar worth. They left the company and make it better and make it as a service, okay? So this vertical integration is the reason you can compete with anyone if they're not a monopoly, okay? Or if you find a way to break the monopoly. That's it. This is like the points that I wanted to talk about, the opportunities in Tel Aviv.